Well, hello, good morning and welcome. This is me, it's Pluto Man, once again, and this is Poke for Muppets, obviously. And I haven't put up a video for a while, I just haven't played for a while. In fact, I think this was the first tournament I played for about 2 weeks. Just more important things to do, right? Just more important things going on. Um, Anyways, this is five card draw. I don't profess to be an expert in this game, but had an interesting tournament here. You see I've got a good stack. You're second place out of 9 at the moment, and the leader is you, so very, very close. And actually, I didn't start. I started okay, and then I was almost dead. Very, very. It's actually been a theme. I've had a lot of tournaments lately. Well, haven't played much lately, but of the ones I have played, where I've come back from being in, very, very perilous positions. And this I was down to like, I don't know, a few hundred or something. I must have had a triple up. When I think I had two jacks and I just had to go with it. And I think I actually already had the best hand. I hit a third jack, which I didn't even need, as it turned out. Well, always nice to have it. And then a little while later, I managed to, I think I picked up a big, like a big trips or something, and suddenly I was sort of in business again then. But this tournament's it's only had 23 people buy in. Now, do the maths here. We have maths where I come from with an S. 23 times $3.30. Now, what's that? 23, 369, 97, about $76. There is a $24 overlay in this tournament, everybody. Roll up, play this tournament. You're going to get back $1.30 on average for every dollar you put into it. It's kind of amazing, isn't it? Um, yes, we put 76 in and you're getting a $24 overlay on that. That's pretty impressive. That doesn't happen very often. Overlays are fairly unusual, and they do happen. They're not normally as big as that, proportional to the amount of money that was people's buy-ins. So anyway, so let's go. Just got a pair of fours. I just check. He limps in. I'm also playing single draw. That tournament's only just. In fact, I think it's just started at this moment. Right, 9:13. There we go. I don't hit anything. He's got two sixes, so I don't win that. A tiny pot, obviously. Hit two. What do I do here? I decide not to bluff there on that table for single draw. Hit pair of nines. If you're bluffing that one, probably going to be bluffing a little bit too much. I decide to call here. Two fours again. I decide to actually keep the king, mix that play up a little bit, and I actually go and hit two kings, but I don't bet. I don't know why I didn't bet there. Probably should have bet there, Hit that two pair. Hmm. Don't know. Probably should have bet there. Not showing every hand. I'm showing most hands here. Then when we get a little while, I probably will show every hand. I think I will show every hand. So I actually got to have a flush draw here. And he just folds. That's quite nice. Pair of eights and a flush draw. Played as the flush draw. Hmm. Pair of eights again. I'm going to draw two this time. Don't hit. Don't try and bluff this because I'm going to have the best hand a lot. And I do there. So So I think some people might decide to bluff after the draw too much when they may actually have the best hand anyway. And so in 12th out of 14, but we've only just it's a kind of a meaningless number at this point because it's almost only just gone 10th out of 14. There you go. It's kind of meaningless at that very early stage. This tournament's been going for an hour and a half already. The one I'm focusing on here. I'll do much better in single draw. Now I've got two pair, small two pair. Because the thing to remember is that although 8 is kind of a medium card, 8 is not a medium top pair when you have two pair, right? So checks, and I just check it back. Oh, look at we had an interesting hand there, didn't he? Interesting on draw. Two sevens now. Um, I'm actually leading the tournament now, which is kind of weird. Doesn't often happen for me in this game. Decided to open my two-card draw there. Decided to fold here. People have been passive before the draw, so I go and actually hit pretty damn well. 10-7, bet 2/3 of the pot, and I was going to say compatriot, he gets out of the way. Let that go. I'm not focusing on single draw, but a few hands are going to pop up. Yeah, a pair of kings. Do I decide to draw two here? I decide to just call. Now I do get rid of the ace as well. Look what I hit here. Okay, hit 3-3-3. I decided to not. I go just over half the pot. And people, and obviously I'm happy to stack off with this. Crikey! Imagine going and hitting that after drawing three. You, you don't pair your original two cards. You get tripped 3-3-3. That's not going to happen very often. Okay, and I'm going to hit trips here. I've got trip tens. So I'm hitting well now. Are we all going to draw three here? No, he draws one. The tricky thing here is, so Yape is, if he's drawing one, he's going to have me beaten sometimes. I've got a flush draw here. He folds. You see, it's problem with these one card draws. Some people are going to have straight draws and flush draws. Well, they're going to have that a lot, and sometimes your trip tens is actually going to lose. You always got to watch out with for these one card draws. Yeah, kind of always a little bit of a danger one card draws are. So I decide to call. You min three bets and he pats. Gosh. I'm wondering whether I should have just folded to the min three bet, but I'm not at the bottom where I range there with aces. I'm going to have worse hands than that. Decided to call, but I mean, as I completely miss. If I'd hit a third ace, I think I would have called him. Probably. You've got to pay off people's pat hands sometimes. Um, so, and it's also think a little bit. I decided to fold here. I don't think my jacks against that under the gun raise are doing very well. Here I've got an ace, so a pair of aces in the small blind. I decide to do I just decide to fold here. I don't know. That's probably a little bit tight actually. Yeah, there's just that under the gun raise. People are being pretty passive. So actually got a. I suppose after the draw, I had a flush draw to go the 7-5-3-2. I go and actually hit my flush. I decided not to bluff there, which I think was a mistake. I think actually someone bet. I think I was going to bluff. Going back that talking about the single draw there, where I have 7-5-3-2 and I for all clubs, and I go and hit my flush, and I decide not to. I think I need to actually bluff raise there. I think that's the only thing. I mean, it's such an unusual thing to hit that you need to you need to have a bluff raising range, and that needs to be there. I mean, I guess in these $3.30 tournaments, you don't really need to be balanced there, but I still think I think if I hadn't been playing this other tournament as well, I probably would have. But my focus was on this one. I think I would have bluffed raised there actually, but anyway. So got a big hand here. Got kings up. It's a pretty big hand. I have aces up just a moment ago. Decided to just put him all in. I know that I'm just thinking, is he going to call me with worse hands? He doesn't have a lot in his stack. I decide he will call me with a lot of worse hands than this. So, with the size of the pot being as it is already, so what does he decide to do? He calls me. And he has two pair. He has a small two pair. And I get value. I'm glad I kind of fired out that bet at the end there. See, sometimes he's going to have me beaten, but I pad my stack a little bit. And what do I do here? I actually have a gut shot. I don't decide to So here I've got aces. He just limps. I raise. He folds. Okay. I'm actually getting a lot of good hands. I've got queens this time. Go to that amount. So notice that my raise sizings here at the moment. What I'm doing, I'm going to see at the early stage of the tournament. I normally go to about 2.7 times with as my open raise size. And then later on, at some point I don't have I sort of sense that when getting near the bubble or something like that, or maybe down to two tables, that kind of thing. I'll I'll go down a bit to about 2.4. I just feel you're going to get a lot more folds at that point in the tournament. Beginning people don't really like to fold so much, so I'll go a little bit bigger, may even go to three times sometimes. But here, um, yeah, but now that I'm in the small blind, my open raise size is going to be bigger than that. So I go to 2.7. I may even go to three. I think 2.7 is what I'm going here. So bigger in the small blind than I would go normally. I think that's kind of sensible. Um, so what does he do? So going for 2 hours now. I don't think I've actually been going for 2 hours. He three bets me. I decide to fold. He goes, I think he went for the max with three bets. So I decided to just get out of the way. Have aces here, load of big cards too. It'd actually be better to not have the big cards because it makes it less likely that somebody else has got a pair of kings or queens that they're going to call me with. Like it halves the chance they're going to have a king. So kings. So if you think about it, there are six combos. It's getting to Hold'em. They talk about combos a lot, but there are six different ways you can have a pair of kings, six different combinations. And when you actually have one of them, well, that cuts it down to three. If you had two of them, it would cut it down to one. Um, so, so yeah, so the king and the queen in my hand actually harms me a little bit here. But I mean, I suppose because it went there that they just folded, it means that I'm not going to get so many calls from a worse hand. And if you're ahead before the draw, you're going to be you're going to end up being ahead after the draw most of the time too. Right hands don't run very close together in this game. That's an important thing to realise. That's why you should open pretty small. So now I'm going for 2.4 here, you see. Some people even min raise a lot of the time. What do I decide to do? Decide to fold. Okay, I think that's the only way. I'm not quite at the bottom of my range, but I'm not too far off. Big hand here now. Have to three bet this, surely. I'm going to have to go. How much do I don't make it very big? The 3-3-3-3 is what I go for. And he folds. I'll improve, as I'm not going to improve vast majority of the time. I've got a nice three jacks on that table. I do win. He had queens up, I had aces up. So now we go to the final table, six-handed final table, and I'm in the lead, which is kind of interesting. Like I said I was down to, well, now it's still five-card draw, and I have a straight. I decide to obviously open it up to my 2.4 times. I just get one caller, I pat, and I do bet. I think it's a mistake not to bet every pat hand. You need to bet after draw with all of your pat hands because you should be pat bluffing sometimes. Now, I don't have a good range for pat bluffing, but I feel like a lot of big cards um, that don't make a straight or don't have a straight draw, like ace, king, jack, 9-8 or something would be a good one to do. Okay, now I have a flush draw, which is much appreciated. Goes mine 2.4 times. I get the call from the big blind. We go 1-1. I miss. And I don't bet because sometimes I'm going to win. And what was really interesting about that one was he actually made the second nut low in this game. He had the second nuts for the other game. And if I was him there, I don't think I would have I don't think I would have called that my bet anyway if I was in his shoes. I would have folded before the draw. I think, because, well, he's got a flush draw there. Presumably it was the flush draw. I mean, I don't know. Um, Presumably it was the flush draw, not the straight draw. But, yeah, I just don't know. I mean, I guess calling there probably isn't too bad. You don't have any other anything else you can hit with that though. If it's like an ace high flush draw, you could pay your top card sometimes. I mean, I think my hand's considerably better than his, obviously. So the things I didn't decide to bluff after missing that because I knew that sometimes because he was on a one card draw, which meant that he was going to end up making a hand worse than this quite often. But I think the thing that, with his hand, I would have. I mean, he might have gone for a check raise there. He might have been trying to do that, but I think I might have just bet directly out with a hand like this. What he made in the end there. I don't have anything here. Um, Not doing too well on that other table, you know. Could I afford to fold that? Gosh, don't know why I folded that. I think I should have raised there, you know. 10-6 in that position. Somehow I think I'm being too tight on that table, too passive or something. And I find that's something that actually happens quite often when I'm at the final table in one tournament. I will start to be overly passive in another tournament or folding too much because my eyes are always on that one tournament that I'm at the final table in. Anyway, so so I decide to so I decide to fold my aces here when he does what he does there. I don't know whether that's a good play. Because he will have hands like worse than that sometimes. And he folds, getting about 1,000,000 to 1. Well, that was interesting. I mean, who knows what he had there? He had trips or what? Don't mind my fold there, though. I think it's okay. It's actually probably the right play. Um, hmm. I'd like to fold that one. That's interesting. So I have a flush draw there, but it's a low flush draw. If I had a slightly better flush draw, like a queen high flush draw, certainly king high flush draw, I would but it's a really low flush draw that. And yeah, but the bigger flush draw, I'd have opened that for sure. 98 draw there on single draw. And he goes really big, and I decided to fold that one as well. He's doing that. He's not a bad player, this guy, actually. Does go really big with his raises, his opens. There's no need to go that big, actually. It's kind of like in Hold'em, isn't it? You don't open to 6x usually. Whatever. Um, I think I do have well, I am open-ended. I find it funny when people say you're open-ended. Like you have an open-ended draw, so I'm open-ended. It's kind of funny. Okay, get 3 4s, and you just fold. So I actually have a good chip lead now. Look at this. I actually have quite a meaningful advantage over everybody else. I mean, you're in second place with a good stack, but so this is uncharted territory for me. Haven't been here before. I don't remember it anyway. My 2.4 with aces up, which is very nice. Um, and kings up, so I've got. So here's the one where I've got aces up followed by kings up. I knew that happened. I thought it was earlier, but it's not. It was that he was here. So very similar hand, basically. He calls me this time. Now what do I do? If I miss, which I'm going to do most of the time, I feel I need to bet here. Hope I bet here. So I bet quite small. He calls me with the worst hand, which is fantastic. That's just wonderful. So now I've got well over twice as many chips as anybody else. What did he call me with? Just a pair of aces, right? I think that's what he had. Oh, yeah. That's interesting. So he had a flush. That's right. He had the flush draw. He missed the flush draw, but then but paired his ace. Oh, and he called me. Well, that's an interesting one. Whoa. Okay. He just had a hit a bluff. He had a bluff catcher there. Hmm. Right. So now it's funny because at the time when I was playing this tournament, I wasn't really playing it as if I had this big chip lead. I was thinking, well, just trucking along, chugging along, trying to, um, you know, as I play as I normally would. I wasn't even almost aware that I had this chip lead. I don't think at the time. Well, I think I was eventually, but it took me a while to almost have it in my consciousness. Don't have anything here. I'm going to try and open a bunch. I mean, you could. I reckon actually pat bluffing with that hand wouldn't be too bad, honestly. So look at this just for a second. Look how, I started sort of okay, and then I had to hit some decent hands there right at the beginning, and then it just was a free fall. I got down to there, and I was pretty much gone at that point. Somehow I managed to come back. Claw my way out of that. I was almost dead, so um, I've actually been leading the tournament for most of the last, I don't know, half hour or so, which is kind of interesting. Not a position I'm particularly accustomed to. But Queen's up now. Oh, what am I doing? What am I folding? No, no, no. What? What? I completely misread my hand, didn't I? Hang on a sec. Well, I was like, I misread my hand. I didn't. I completely misread my hand. Oh, for God's sake! I must have just thought I had the pair of fives, not even realised I had queens up. Oh, oh, for God's sake! I had something popped up there. Had flash score up on my screen there, and I had something to do with work as well. Um, God, I must have been distracted by something. Maybe someone called me or whatever, because oh, this is crazy. That's just crazy stuff. I had queens up on the button. I folded. What the hell was that about? It's really interesting that sometimes that was single draw. I mean, that was five card draw, not single draw. This is the other problem when you're playing these tournaments is I don't know why I had flash score up there as well. I'm not really into football these days. I know why I had flash score up there. I think I know why I had flash score up there. Anyway, yeah, playing these two tournaments at once when you're trying to do the complete opposite in each one can confuse you, and I think that might have been part of it too. Whatever it was, though, um, you need to pay more attention somehow. Don't know. Wow, it's amazing, isn't it? You play these back and you think, Christ, what did I do there? Completely misread my hand. Anyway, so I drew five there, and I'm wondering whether I actually should have bet my aces. Interesting, isn't it? I'm gonna go and hit a pair of aces there after drawing five. Maybe there's value there. You'd have got curious or something. So here I have a pair of aces. Raise it up. Phew, I actually raised it up. That's good. And I've got 32,000. So despite that howler, I I have the biggest stack by a long way now. That doesn't mean anything. It means something, but it doesn't mean I'm going to win the tournament or anything like that. That's a pair of jacks. Now I decided not to open this up. It's a little bit tight, but I thought, oh, someone made a flush there. It's not quite queens with the ace kicker for sure. So I default that as well. Again, under the gun, I want a slightly better flush draw than that. I want to go and hit 964. That's Volodymyr, very famous sort of name at the moment. And I go and obviously bet this. And does anybody call me or raise? Or if he raises, it'd be interesting. I guess I'll have to pay him off, maybe. I don't get any action. Some facts about what my starting stack was. Um, decided to call. He's so short. I have to call there. He's going to be getting all in with a lot of stuff. Draw three. I hit a third king, which I didn't even need to hit. Well, well, it didn't do me any harm. So I go and bet my 9-8-6, and he just folds. Okay, so 9-8-6 there. Just a pair of sixes. Don't get involved with this. Have been getting a lot of good hands. I haven't been showing every hand, so but I've been showing a large number of them. So again, I've had a lot of like not absolute monster hands, but just big pairs, good two pair, that kind of stuff. Um, so I don't feel I've had some like, too many big decisions to make. I don't hit. Just check it back. Yeah, okay. So he's getting actually a lot of people are playing too many straight draws. They're just playing too many draws in general. They're too cool, happy before the draw. Just too many hands, etc. Too many small pairs. Stuff where they're behind to anybody with a decent like opening range. Just got a pair of sixes here. You see my showdown record is really, really good in this tournament. Obviously I've been very lucky to win that many showdowns. 77% is it's unusually high. Um, so it's highly unusual to be at that level. 35 is a bit of a sample size, isn't it? You expect it to be around 50% on average, right? Um, 'Cause occasionally you'll get a three-way showdown, and then if you're a little bit tighter than most people, or you're probably going to have a stronger hand than average at the end, right? So those things cancel out. 50% is probably what you'd expect. I've got a good flush draw here, so I'm going to open it up. Just have a pair of eights, but I think I'll play it as a flush draw. With a pair of aces and the flush draw, I'd probably just I'd get rid of this. I'd dump the flush draw and keep the aces. But anyway, I just fold. So look at my chip advantage. It's massive now. We're down to five. You see. A few minutes till the break. 8-4-2. Don't get involved here. Um, Not much going on with this one. Right, he just pots it, I guess, and I just fold. Okay. Let it go, even if that min raise. He's actually been min raising a lot, this sack sap guy, and I've been folding to a lot of these min raises. And it's funny, at the time I remember being quite frustrated by that. Every time I'd min raise, I'd have something that's not quite good enough to call, be like a middle pair or a pair of eights, pair of tens, that sort of stuff. Open this one up, obviously. Um, what's he gonna do? Just folds. So I am actually getting a lot of taking the blinds all the time actually here. Maybe because I've actually had some decent hands. Queen's up on the wrong table for that hand. So you look at this, and you have let me see about half the chips in play here, which is incredible five-handed, and with identical skill levels, you should win the tournament about 50% of the time from here. Like it feels like it should be more, doesn't it? When you've got such a big lead, but it's about 50-50. So what happened there? I had two big hands there, right? Somebody had trip tens and trip aces. Gosh, I'm surprised more money didn't go in there. Yeah. So a pair of kings there. I have a flush draw here. Decide to just get out of the way with that one. Oh, no, I don't want to sit out. Still want to play. He's gone a little bit big though, so I decided to fold. If he'd min raised, I would have called there. Got a pair of eights with an ace kicker now. Is he going to min raise? He's doing this all the time, and in the small blind, I don't feel I can call with this hand. He's getting a lot of. He's moved into second place now. Not with a big stack, obviously, but I'll decide to open this one up. So let's just let that one go. Pair of fours hit him. And then that guy, Billy gets it all in. I fold. Okay. Don't know anything about Billy. Might not even know how to play the game. Pair of nines, pair of eights. So 13,000 for Saxap now. And Albaneka with 2,000 is interesting to see what happens to him now. Because he's almost gone. Good hand for the wrong game. 2,000. He's putting it all in now. He's trying to just hope that he can hang on in there. So, by the way, one thing I haven't explained yet is that we're actually on the bubble here. So it's not. This is another unusual thing. So a lot of things that are unusual here. This overlay, the sizable overlay, is unusual. Also, as I said, only 23 people bought in, 23 buy-ins. There might have been the odd rebuy among them, the 23 buy-ins, and only the top four get paid. And the payout structure is really weird. The $100 guarantee, right? 40 for first, 30 for second, 20 for third, 10 for fourth. What's all that about? You know, you normally have a bigger gap between first and second, and slightly a smaller one between second and third, and you know, third and fourth a bit smaller. I think paying out just the top four is the way to go there, but whoa, 40, 30, 20, 10. So that makes it really unusually flat when you get up to, first and second. That's really weird. I've never seen that before. I wonder why they don't just have a simple formula that they always use. I don't quite get that. It'd be like, you should sort of have probably 45 odd for the winner, 20, I don't know, 27 for second, something like that. Maybe something, no. So that's odd, and it's something to think about too. So the ace, so he does hang on there, and getting up to 6,000. Well, that's kept him alive. So he was pretty much gone there. Just have to hope. Just managed to have the best hand. Almost at the break now. Still on the bubble, isn't it amazing? Five-handed. It's just not. Haven't played too many tournaments. I've played one or two where the bubble is um at the final table. So you can make the final table and still not cash, which I have done. Um, I don't really. If I manage to do that here, that would be a complete disaster. It takes some fairly extreme outcome, like for that to happen here for me. You'd hope. Right. Oh, interesting one. Do I? The trouble is, people are so short that at trying a pat bluff, it almost seems pointless. Anyway, here we go. Break time. Interesting little. I mean, I don't think I had that many decisions to make. So that ends part one. That's the end of part one. There is going to be a part two. Who knows how many parts there are going to be? Oh, there's only one more part. That was part one. Part two's coming up with the remaining five people still on the bubble. Am I gonna cash? Well, we'll wait and see. To find out, you need to watch part two. Don't go away.